Hashem, today we are doing Daf Samech He Amud Aleph. So we are starting by the two dots. Says the Gemara, Tan Rabbanan, Nised L'Rishon V'lo Hayu La Banim. So let's say a lady married one person and Lo Hayu La Banim, she didn't have children for 10 years. L'Sheni V'lo Hayu La Banim, to the second person, she didn't have children. So shlishi lo tinaseh lemi sheyesh lo banim. If she wants to marry a third person, she has to marry somebody who already was mekayem pirya v'rvya, because he cannot be mekayem pirya v'rvya through her. Now niseh lemi sheyein lo banim. Let's say she married somebody who did not have children, and they can't be mekayem pirya v'rvya. Tetzeh b'lo ketuva. So she has to he has to give a get, and she leaves with no ketubah. That's the Braita. Now ask the Gemara, interesting question. Ibayilahu. Niset lishlishi velo hayu labanim. Mahu litva'u hanach kamai. Let's say she marries the third guy. She doesn't have any children. So now do we say, whoa, now it's been 3 times that, she's been married and she doesn't have children. So maybe the first 2, they can be tovea her and say, listen, we paid you ketubah money. This whole thing was a mekach ta'ut. Give us back what we paid you. This was all a mekach ta'ut. It's not that we got married and gave you a get. The whole thing was a mekach ta'ut. Therefore, we want the ketubah money back. We see now you proved that the problem wasn't with us. The problem was with you. So mimatzu amri la iglai milta da'atu degarmat. Can they say, listen, now, after 3 times, it's revealed that you're the cause, and therefore we want our ketubah money back. O dilma, or maybe she could claim to them that no, maybe, I was younger back then, and now I became older, and now I'm weaker, and now I can't have children. But maybe when I was married to you, it wasn't my fault. Maybe it was your fault. Maybe if I was married to somebody else back then, I would have had children. So can she claim that to keep the money that she was given, that she's muhzak on? So mistabra matzidamra lehu hashdu lekachshi. The Gemara says mistabra, she could say that she's muhzak on the money. She could claim that no, you have no proof that I wasn't healthy enough to have children back when I was married with you. Maybe something happened to me now. Ibayalahu nised lervi v'hayu labanim. Now let's say after the 3 marriages with no banim, she marries to a 4th. And v'hayu labanim, and then she has children from the 4th. Mahu dititbe'e lishlishi. Can she go back to the 3rd and say, excuse me, you let me go without a ketubah because you assumed that the issue was with me, but you obviously not, because now I am having children with this 4th guy. So I want you to pay me the ketubah money. So amrinan la shtikutech yafeh midiburech. We tell her, listen, it was better for you not to say any claim and be silent more than to speak up. The matzi amarla ana dat dachi lo gerashtich. What could happen? The guy could say, listen, I didn't give you a get on these terms. I gave you a get with the understanding that you weren't able to have children. Now you prove that you're able to have children. That get is batel. That was never the intention. And what's going to happen? Her children with the next guy are going to be mamzerim, because if her first original husband is mevatel the get, he says this whole get was a ta'ut, it was a mistake. Really, she's still married to him. She's not married to the second guy. Those children are mamzerim. She's eishrish to the first guy. It's going to cause problems. So madkif la Rav Papa ihi shatka anan mishat kinan. Rav Papa says, well, okay, so even if she doesn't claim anything, but we're going to be silent. There's a claim out there that he can claim that it's a claim out there that the guy could claim that this get was a mekach taut. This get was a taut. So nimtza get batel b'nei mamzerim, and what's going to be? The get is batel, and her children are mamzerim. So ella amir hash te'ud debriata. We say that now she became healthy, and now she was able to have children, but when she was married to him, it wasn't a ta'ut. She really actually wasn't able to have children. Hu amar minah v'hi amra mineh. Let's say he says that it's coming from her. She's the reason that they're not able to have children, and she says it's his issue. So amar Rabbi Yami dvarim shebeino lebeina ne'emenet. Rabbi Yami says she's ne'emenet. When it comes to things that are intimate between him and her, she's believed. What's the reason? She knows if he's yorek echetz. In order to impregnate, he has to be yorek echetz. The zera has to shoot like an arrow. So that's something that she's able to tell, and therefore she's believed if she claims that he's not yorek echetz. He's not. He can't assess to that 100%. Attest to that 100%. So Amar Ihu Ezilin Tivita V'ivdok Nafshai. Let's say the guy says, "I'm going to go and marry a woman, and ivdok nafshai, I'm going to check myself to see if I'm yorek echetz or not with her." So Amar Rabbi Ami Av Bezu Yotzi V'Yiten Ketuba. Even in this case, he has to be Yotze and Yiten Ketuba. Why? He holds that you're not allowed to marry a second wife on top of the first wife, and if he does, he has to be Yotzi V'Yiten Ketuba. Rava holds that a person is able to marry multiple wives, on top of his wife. That's as long as he has the ability to support them. Okay, says the Gemara further, a few more lines. Hu Amar. So we said that with the 10 years of being together before determining that they cannot be Mekayim Pirya V'Reviyah counts 10 years after any hapala, any miscarriage. So, Hu Amar Apad Begoyeser. He says, no, you had a miscarriage within 10 years. He Amra Lo Apelti. She said, no, I didn't have a miscarriage. So Amar Biyami Av Bezui Ne'emenet. The Biyami says she is Ne'emenet, and we count the 10 years from when she says. Why? Because if it's true that she had a hapala, she wouldn't make herself have a chazaka of having of not being able to have children. So she would prefer to say I had a hapala. Now hipila v'chazar hipila. Let's say she had a hapala 3 times in a row. So huchseka linfelim. So she has a chazaka now that she causes nefelim. She causes miscarriages. So hu amar apila tirei. Let's say he says you had 2 times a hapala. V'amra tlat, and she says no, it was 3 times. Now what's the purpose of her saying 3 times? Because now she has a chazaka that she cannot be mekayem. He cannot be mekayem pirya v'reviyah through her, and she goes out. So she's claiming 3. He's claiming no, it was only 2, and we're staying together. So says the Gemara, Amar Rabbi Yitzchak ben Elazar, Uvda Hava ben Midrasha, v'Amru hi mehemna. This case came up in the ben Midrash. They said we believe her. Because if it's true that she didn't have a hapala, she's not going to lie and make herself be someone who has a chazaka now that she has nefelim. We'll stop here.